Hey, Crafty Carpenter here. It's been 5,000 days and I decided, you know what, this looks pretty good. I think I'll put it on YouTube. I'm not gonna bore you with every detail from the 4,000 days prior to this, but let's just check out what we built and how we got here, and I'll see you on the other side. That was awesome. I love this Mountain Valley Village. We've come a long way from the first little starter base there to where we are today. So what I've been working on recently is the aqueduct, the Roman aqueduct that you can see behind me there, and I'm going to hook it up to flour mills and wood mills kind of running down the hill, and their main block is going to be the packed mud, brick, and just packed mud. So I'm going to get back to work and start collecting the wheat, and we'll get the materials together and head on over and get started. Right? Right, Wandering Trader? Yeah. Alright, we got our wheat together and planted another 1,000 seeds. The wheat doesn't seem to go very far when you're making mud bricks. So we are going to run back to storage because I collected a whole bunch of supplies on the way back from filming the other bases, and as you can see, the tools are getting a little low, so I think we're gonna have to make a stop at the Enderman farm. So we'll run back to storage real quick, get things organized, and head off to the Enderman farm. And we're back. G'day, creatures. Alright, so I picked up a whole bunch of mud. Have almost 5 double chests worth. I'm just going to take a minute. We'll craft a whole bunch of these into mud bricks. Like so. There. It really doesn't go that far, especially when you're doing such big projects with the mud bricks. Alright, I'm gonna get my sword ready for the Enderman farm. And the rest of the tools that I wore down on the way back from my adventure. A lot of hose. I use the hose when I take down the mangrove trees a lot. Just, it's so hard to find some of the wood that I need to. I just take all the leaves out of the way first while harvesting. So let's head over there and repair our tools. Welcome to our stronghold. It's not very far, maybe 30-45 second flight from base, and I have it all set up now for my needs. I've been in here harvesting some of the stone early on. I might actually put that back or do something with this space, and I have my duper all set up for the sand, gravel, concrete powder. It is super handy. This is the first one I ever built, and I regret not having built one before. Just sand for glass and bottles and sandstone. It's just so much faster. It's such a nice setup. This one works perfectly, and I'll try and find the video tutorial and put a link in the description for anyone interested, because it just works so well. I've had absolutely no problems with it. And we're back to the end. It's actually been a while since I've been back to repair anything. I've been working on the aqueduct for quite some time. I'll also put a link in the description to the Enderman farm that I'm using. And yeah, it's funny in the end, for me anyways, there's always remnants of the first time that I was here in the background. Maybe I'll come back and clean that up, but I doubt it. It's really not my way, and it's actually a perfectly handy staircase. So we're going to fly on down to the Enderman farm and get our tools all fixed up. We'll fly back to base and get things organized and get building. Right on. Such a handy farm. Love that farm for repairing tools, especially when you're doing big builds. Now, I can't usually. Let's see if I can stick the landing. Yes, sir. And oh, the barn. We're in the barn just outside the wheat field. Apparently that is where I set my spawn to. And other than the storage, I think this might be the first building we're actually going in. I want to save most of the buildings for some kind of celebration or like different subscriber amounts, but since we're in here we might as well take a look. This is the second building I did in this area. I really like it. It really reminds me of the barn we had on our farm when I was young. Obviously it's a little nicer, but the arches and size, I actually really enjoy this build. It's awesome barn, awesome stable. Let's head back out and take a look at the aqueduct. So I'd say from about this area, things aren't really done from the fence away to the left. I have the pond in and I have some basic stuff in, but it's definitely not the way it's going to be finished. I wanted to get this aqueduct in place before working on the rest of the area. I found some pictures of old Roman aqueducts in Europe and used those as the inspiration. You can see kind of a cistern or catchment area there on the left. The water flows down the mountain into that cistern or catchment and then flows across the top of the aqueduct where it will power flour mills and wood mills, kind of like this image in the corner. So I have the temporary layout at the top with slime blocks. I love using slime blocks, but let's try and get up a little higher to take a better look at what's going on here. That is better. This windmill is amazing to get a view of the village. Okay, so you can see the cistern. You got the waterfall coming down the mountain. It gets gathered in the cistern, and that waterfall goes off and around the main village. This one will come down the mountain into the cistern and go across the aqueduct and power 3 or 4 buildings going down the hill just like this. Once we get those first 4 buildings in place, I can start to work on the actual water flowing down the hill. And I think we'll let it lead right into the river at the bottom there. We'll come back and work on the rest of the aqueduct. Only one side is finished. I wanted to make sure that these buildings worked out properly before actually completing that angled section that leads to the wood mill and the flour mills. So we can go over and get started on this once we get our ender chest and shulkers organized again. So I'm going to have to fly back to storage real quick. I'll empty out all the items I gathered on the way back and put in the color-coded building shulkers I have for projects. So I'm going to head back over there. We'll get everything organized and then get to work. Alright, and greetings again, creatures. So let's take a look at, okay, so these are my shulkers I use for collection. I just reorganized my storage. I had them stored over here, but I temporarily put all my color-coded building shulkers in this chest just to keep them organized. I know the order they're in and what's in each one. It helps me build quickly, efficiently. I know where everything is. So let's start by getting rid of all the things that we collected out there. You can see that it was a very successful mining gathering trip. I think we should have everything we need for this project, but you never know. We'll see as we go along. So I'm going to get this ender chest reorganized with the right shulkers, and I will meet you over there. And nice soft landing. Alright. Let's get set up here, although it's already night, so let me just put my bed down and set my respawn. Alright, morning. So I'm going to do the layout with slime blocks, which could take a long time and might be very boring, so I will be back when I'm done. And I'm back. So this is the kind of shape I think we're going for. It's going to be 2 floors. We'll have you can kind of see the water wheel on the far side here. So we'll have the water come down, go across, it'll flow down the water wheel. There, you can see the water wheel. And I think I like the size. I think we should be able to get everything in it and the texture that I want. So we'll take this, and I think I'm going to duplicate it or replicate it down the hill. And then I'll come back and we'll see what that looks like. So just give me a few minutes. I'm going to run down, I'll lay that out in slime blocks, and I will be right back. And this is why I like slime blocks for laying out. They break instantly. With Swift Sneak you can move across them really quickly and no fall damage. Plus, it's a little fun. Okay, so I have all 4 laid out. I think I'm liking the size. We'll obviously play with it as we go to adjust anything we need to, but it's going to look something like this. And these are Roman flour mills that are powered from an aqueduct. So we're going for that kind of thing. We're going to start with these 4 on this side and see how they look. And then the 4 on the other side might end up being 4 slightly different style buildings. Maybe these ones will be the flour mills and the other side will be the wood mill. Really won't know until we get into it. I have no idea what palette I'm going to be using. I have no idea what kind of look I'm going for. I'd like it to match the kind of Roman style, but then you always have to blend it into Minecraft blocks. And man, I love this windmill. What a great project this is. I can't wait to give everybody a tour of this building. But for now, let's focus on the flour mill. So to get started, I make sure I have my bodyguard with me, and my nighttime bodyguard is behind me, and I have everything set up. I have my bed, crafting table, ender chest, and I think we're ready to go. I have the base laid out with brick because I have a lot of brick, and I think we'll get started on the floor. And for the floor, I chose calcite, and then we'll blend it with some dorite and maybe gravel. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. We'll put down the calcite and see what it looks like. So when I do floors, I usually do them like this. I just run around and I'm trying to spin and not look the same direction, and it gives them that nice random look. I've tried to fill in the whole thing and go back and knock chunks out, but that doesn't really work for me. That works for me on the walls, but this style is what works for me on the floor. So we'll just fill a couple of these in. It doesn't turn out exactly how I like it right away, but it definitely gives me a good foundation to work from for texturing. So just gonna fill in here, fill in a couple here, and I want the main block or main color to definitely be dominant. I don't want it to look like it's a super old building, although we're basing it off structures that are 2,000 years old, but I want it to look used but not like it's a really old building itself. So we're going to give it mild wear in the floor. So maybe 80% of the floor will be the calcite, and then we'll go through with some other blocks just to give it that worn kind of look. And texturing is definitely something that I've learned and practiced and actually used in this mountain valley village. I really didn't know how to do it before, which is probably what gives most of the buildings here a lot more character. I didn't really do it in any of the other places, and the buildings do. Some of them look very cool. The Phoenix is a very cool building, but without this texturing, it doesn't have the same feel. It's very hard to get a organic, worn, used kind of look unless you're good at texturing like this. And I watched Blue Nerd a lot. He might be my favorite YouTube Minecraft builder. I really enjoy the way Ost tells his stories. I don't seem to have that gift. What I do have is 25 years building awesome homes for people, so I have that in the back of my mind, like an eye of what to look for. I actually got to build a house for the man who invented Slinky. Is that enough? It was very cool. I didn't get to meet him, but I got to build a house for him. So I've got to learn on some really awesome houses, and I can take it and apply it to this Mountain Valley village. And it actually, what do I want? Where's my blocks? Oh yeah, I might have left them in the wheat farm. Let's take a look. When I gathered the wheat, I think I ran out of space for this. Yep, for the seeds, and put them in the chest temporarily. At least it's not very far. The village is growing, but nothing is too far away yet. Alright, so we have calcite, dorite. We're going to try some white concrete powder, gravel, and gray concrete powder, and see if that gives us the texture we're looking for. Sometimes too many different blocks makes it look too busy, and this dark might make it look too worn. I'm gonna finish the floor like this, but I may come back and, if I don't like it, and try maybe something lighter. I also don't want to use too many blocks. 3 or 4, maybe even 5. 3 or 4 for texture and 1 main foundational block. But when you start getting 5, 6, 7, it just starts to look busy most of the time. So, I mean, this isn't looking bad. It might be a little more worn of a look than I'm looking for. I think I definitely want this to make the video. I feel like something I don't get to see in, well, Blue Nerd's videos especially. He does so much work and puts it into a half-an-hour video, and I wish I got to see more of his process for building. It's amazing what he does. I love his videos, but I wish I saw a little more of the process. I understand it takes hours and days to do a project. I like it. I'm gonna leave it for now, and I will come look at it again later. So let's just grab some of the mud bricks we crafted after our adventure and grabbing the 1,000 wheat, and I'm just going to maybe bring it up 3 to start and have a look and see how I feel about the... No, let's bring it up to where I think the floor might end up and just get a feel. It's really, even when I was building real homes, until you had the roof on, you really couldn't get a feel for the size of the building. So it's definitely hard to get the scale right, especially in Minecraft. My goodness, you can do huge projects and it doesn't look nice because it's so big. It's really hard to get texture in. I think I'll leave a door here. I don't know if it'll stay, but let's just build this door in here for now. and make it easy for us to get in and out to all our supplies. And let's lay down this whole row. Let's do this whole wall and see what this looks like. I love the sound of the mud packed bricks. There, it's awesome. I love the texture of these. Okay, so 6 feels like a good height for me. So I'm going to grab the mangrove and I'm going to see if I can figure out where our second level beams are going to go. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have this. Don't know if I like it yet. I see so many builders putting these blocks on the outside, the beams, and I just, in my head, because I built homes, it doesn't make sense to me. It should be part of the structure, but let's take a look at this and see if we can 1, 2, 3, 4, and in 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a block. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, block. 1, 2, 3, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we could put one at the 4th. And that would be 3 spaces. Let's lay this out. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 beam from the end. We have a beam, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what 5 looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can move that into 5. That's a pretty big gap. I think 4 is as big as I'd like. So 4, 3, 3, 4. That can work. I think I'm going to try this. I'm going to build up the back wall and come back when that's built up and put the beams in, and we'll see what it looks like. Be right back. Alright, I got the beams up for the floor and the roof. I think it looks really good now. I changed the spacing to 4 blocks in between. We'll put a lower porch here. Maybe something like that. But now we have 4 blocks in between each one. I'm going to get the roof on, so I'll kick you over to time lapse. See you after.
Next level. Next level.
Well, that was awesome. Man, that looks great. I love it. I really like how this gable turned out. I like the pitch. I like how the whole building is coming together. Let's take a quick look at everything here, just get the feel for it. So I like the beams, I like the spacing. I haven't filled in the side, and you can see we'll come down and do 1, 2, 3 more at least. So I'm gonna have to go get some end stone because I like how this roof is turning out. So I'm gonna flip you over to the time lapse and be right back. Alright. And I think we got everything we need. That should be enough to do all the roofs on the flour mill. I'm just gonna take a quick run to the aqueduct and flour mill through the village just to give you an idea what it looks like here. So I started in this cave when I showed up. I built the storage system first, and then I built my trading hall and library here. I really love the mangrove wood. And it's a much smaller version of the castle base, a much simpler version. I learned not so big there. My pumpkin farm and villager housing to the right. We have the stream going through the village and the barn straight ahead. And I actually grow the pumpkins for iron golems when pillagers show up. Most of the time it doesn't start a raid if the golems are the one that take them out. And now we're at the sheep farm, and yep, that is too close. I don't know these paths quite as well as I think I do. God, I love that aqueduct. That is such a cool feature and just inspired by the terrain. The stream coming down the mountain. I thought, what could I do with that? And here we are. That is looking so good. I love the palette that we've chosen. I like the end stone on the roof. This build is coming along so well. I am really, really loving it. So we're gonna do stuff inside, which would be amazing on Create, but we'll do something in vanilla here like this. Give it the gears and the wheels for grinding flour and putting it in the containers out here on the porch. So let's hop down and we can start the floor on the second unit. I have switched out the palette of blocks after looking at the first floor again. I'm not going to use the gravel or other darker colors. We're just going to go with dorite and white concrete powder for our texture. So I'll just grab those and we'll get started on the floor. We've already done the floor. We'll do a little editing magic. There we go. While we're working on the texturing here, I guess we could go over ideas for the village. I want to finish this whole section. We'll do the landscaping all around the building, continue the road out, do the rest of the aqueduct down to the buildings, and possibly 4 more buildings over here. I definitely want to do a giant beehive and honey and honeycomb farm in the side of the mountain, not too far from the library and trading hall. And I definitely want to do some kind of lakeside build, definitely with ships and a small harbor there out on the lake. And I need a gold farm. There's still a whole bunch of farms that I need to do. The bee farm, gold farm. I definitely need another wheat farm. This is not keeping up, and that looks better. I like that block palette a lot better than the first one. The first one definitely has its place, but for what I was going for, I think I like how this ended up. Let's grab all the blocks we need for the wall and floor, and I also almost always carry slime as a good temporary block. So we'll get started here. We'll build these walls up and grab a little more mangrove wood for the beams and get the basic structure in place here. Okay, I have the walls up. I've laid out the beams, so we're just going to go across and we will put in the beams. A very satisfying sound, if I do say, when you're placing them down and stripping them. And we'll come out 3 blocks for the porch. And that is looking good. I like this. I like the red with the mud packed brick. So let's just fill in the top of the wall here, bring everything up to the same level, and then we need the floor. I don't have oak. Let me grab the oak. Need anything else? Nope, just oak. Grab the oak and we'll put the floor in. It's so nice to have these all so organized. It makes building so much more fun and so fast when you have all these chests with all the different blocks. Craft up planks and let's put the floor in. Swift Sneak is such a nice enchantment. I can't imagine building without Swift Sneak. Sun setting, that's okay. We got our cat with us. Oh yes, I need to remember that. Switch out the block when you're done or you'll keep placing it. That is not the first or the 15th time I have done that. We'll get this floor in and, excuse me. There we go. Oh, what it would be like if you could actually build that fast. Make sure I remember to light the floor up right away. I have no intention of creating an unintentional mob farm in each of these buildings while I'm doing the roof. Make sure we have our blocks for the wall here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's at the same height. Climb up and we can get started on placing the beam across here. Alright, I like it. This is looking really nice. This is going to look really good with all 4 across. Just finish off the beam. And yep, that makes sense. 4 more pieces and I'm out. Let's Let's grab a little more mangrove and I can finish these beams. And the reason I'm doing the beams first is because I'm using concrete powder as texture for the walls up there. And it falls, it's a gravity block. So I wanted everything in place before I put the wall in. So I'm going to get started on that, and you practice doing the worm, and I'll meet you back here in a moment. Alright, I have the walls up and the outline of the roof done in copper, and this is looking really nice. I like the copper with the mangrove and the terracotta and concrete powder. I think I'm going to let it oxidize like the roof in the background there. A little bit of green and pink. So let's switch over to a time lapse and we will get this roof put on right quick, and I will be right back. This has turned into a Amish barn raising. I have everybody showed up to help. I got cat, golem, dog, trader, llamas, and my very handy helper as well, grabbing the blocks for me, Mr. Allay. Alright, this looks awesome. I'm going to get some things together and we can do all the details together live here. I've done them, now that I've done them on the first one, I feel like we could do it fast enough that it will still be fun and entertaining. So let's, we've got everything we need. Let's start on the porch. And I was talking about the elevation before, you can see because this is so lower we have a whole nother area to build the porch out. So I'm going to start, I really like this, I've done this in a few buildings. I'm going to start with the frog lights and use spruce stairs on the top and bottom of those, kind of like a 45-degree support. And then we can put trapdoors. I'm going to use the mangrove trapdoors for these ones to match the rest of the trim, and it really lights up the whole area and gives it a really nice look. The torches look awesome, but you use torches everywhere and it gets a little redundant. We'll put spruce fence gates under those. just to look like a little more support, and that works out perfect with the style of building we're doing. Something from maybe 2,000 years ago Roman architecture. Now in the first one I tried every combination of door, and this one just worked out best for the build here, matching the trim. Let's take a look. I think I like it. See, this one has the garden that'll go all the way around. And we can go inside and we will do almost the same thing that we did on the first one. And I went back and put stairs in here so we can move around the buildings. Now on the interior, I'm going to use oak trapdoors just to give a little variation. Goes with the floor, the oak floors, but on the outside I'm going to keep it with the mangrove trapdoors to keep the same look, and I like the way the light shines through the shape in the middle. So we can go up and do the same thing we did on the first floor with the frog lights, spruce stairs, and then we'll go back with the spruce fence gates and trapdoors. When the building is taller than a few blocks, it looks nice to me to add the frog lights to bring those stairs down one more. It looks like a beefier support, but if it's a smaller building or lower space, then I just go with the single spruce stair as a support, but we definitely have the space here, so we'll put the steps going up into each doorway. And I really like even this little detail, having the porch drop one block like it would in the real world. Keeps snow and water from going in the door, and it adds a nice look with that wraparound stair. Now I love the pottery that they've added in the update. There's so much you can do with them. I'm putting iron trap doors on top of them. Can you watch out, bud? I appreciate your help. Watch out. Yep, there it goes. I'm putting iron trapdoors on the top to make it look like bags of flour that are sitting outside. And there's so much you can do with those pottery shards. This is the first building I'm using lecterns as the railing. It felt big enough and grand enough. I like combinations of stone fence and wood fence. Sometimes with different pillars, but this felt like it had enough space to use the lecterns as the railing, and it looks awesome from the outside. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave the spruce and the spruce trap doors on top here, like the railing cap. I might go back and switch it out for copper. See, even here I can't put a spruce block, but I could put copper. And I'm going to put the oak trap doors for now. I know they're not very thick, but it feels kind of beefy even in this tiny space. But I might go back and switch them for spruce signs, just something thinner, just to give the inside of the block a different look. The oak trap door might just be a little too much right now. Nope, can't get it. Alright. Put the railing cap on. And I do this with all the builds. If you watch in the time lapse, you'll notice things go up and then things come down, and different blocks or a different type of roof, like the roof in front of us right now, that had 3 or 4 different shapes before I actually let it end up on this shape. It's just, that's one of the great things about Minecraft, is it only takes a moment to take it back down and you can try something new. So I think we got everything here. It looks like we got it all matched up. I like the texturing. I really like the look of the porch, so we can go along. We'll do the same thing in here with these frog lights. Now I'm using these ones because they match the roof and the style of the rest of the building. Along the roads and paths throughout the village, I used the green ones, and then sometimes I can find a use for the other ones, but the yellow and the green are definitely my preferred or most used frog lights. And we're going to have to build a proper farm for frog lights. I didn't look up a tutorial. I like to try and do something myself before I go and just find a tutorial to build something. So I went to I think a bastion with the magma spawner where the gold blocks are, and I just cleared that out, put in a floor, and took my frogs on a 1,000-block journey through the nether to the spawner, and I just sit in there and dice them up into little cubes, and the frogs take care of the rest. So I have maybe 9 stacks of each, but if I keep building like this and using them like this, it may be a good idea to get a proper frog light farm. Oh, it's so nice. This is going to be so nice. We'll finish the ceiling and texture all these walls. I like the stairs. Really fits in, and we'll go back and do gables like this. I'm not sure if I'll leave the oak trapdoors up there. I may go back and switch those for something else. And here, so here you can see I have the oak, and I don't think I like it on those beams. Ah, yes, YouTube magic. There, that looks better, I think. I think I like that. So I'm going to leave it here on the first floor and see how I feel about it. But I come back a lot and modify little details. Man, this view is getting awesome. I can't wait until we're finished this area over here and we can fly up on top of the windmill and have a look over. So we'll just have the one more room, do the same thing, frog lights, spruce stairs, trap doors, and fence gates. And then off camera I'm going to come back and texture the oak floor and the mud brick walls, even little things like that. I put the frog lights everywhere and try and hide them or make them look like kind of like a lamp. They're just an awesome lighting addition. We don't need these turning into mob spawners. And I'm looking forward to a much better computer than I have, because my computer now can barely run this. But I wonder if you can, the Minecraft Create mod, I wonder if you can apply that to an existing world. If someone knows, please let me know, because that would be amazing to animate the water wheels that'll be going in here, and the windmill. I don't want to go crazy with the Create. I don't think I need giant trains and everything everywhere, but just little things to give it a little movement. So you can see in here, not in the cupboard space here, but in this floor, I put the spruce trap doors underneath on the inside and the fence gates on the outside. So I think it just little things like that. It makes it feel like an interior space and an exterior space, as long as you keep them separate in each building. So that is looking, oh, that looks awesome. I love this mangrove wood and the frog lights. Everything is coming together. When that copper oxidizes, it's going to look awesome. So I guess we can finish up the outside. We'll do the whole front porch. I'm not quite sure how I want this front porch to go, because the other one doesn't really have a porch like this. because of the topography and the elevation. So we'll grab some plants and see what we can come up with on this front porch. Mr. LA. Yeah, let's see. Plants definitely bring it to life. So let's see if we can make this look nice and natural. See what we can come up with for a nice look here. You're probably going to hear me say it 1,000 times. Organization is key. I spent thousands of days not having things organized like this, and building just certainly was not as fluid as it is now. I think I only did all the shulker organization and dyeing them and naming them and putting each of them into their different categories in the last 300 or 400 days or something. But it makes all the difference in the world. I'm going to try these pteropod plants. I don't know if I like them. I feel like they're a bit much unless there's a really specific design for them to fit into. I feel like they're just overwhelming and look a little bit like a hoo-ha or dingle and berries. The torch flower I think is awesome. Definitely use those. Use the rest of the flowers. It brings it to life doing this kind of thing. And I am certainly not the best at it and haven't done it very much, but I'm enjoying it. It really looks nice. Trees, putting trees everywhere throughout the village completely changed the village. In the time lapse I showed earlier of what it looked like before we got here, there was really only a few oak trees in the whole valley, so going back and planting all the trees, bone meal, flowers, beehives, the bees I find really help bring it to life as well. The sound and them moving around in a pretty stagnant world unless you have some things like that in it. And I don't know, I've never seen anybody else build with allays, but they are so handy as soon as you're up on a wall or up on the roof. Just keep switching out blocks, whichever one you're using. When you go back and texture the roof, throw them the blocks you're knocking out and they go and grab it for you. I don't like to lose or waste any blocks. There's a lot of time spent going and gathering the blocks. So I'll always go pick them up. But with the allay now, this is the first building I use the allay on, and it's awesome. I'll never not build something big like this without the allay. Even little pots, trees, the bigger pots, plants like that, wasn't really in my... I didn't really know about it until I started watching Blue Nerd and Disruptive Builds. They, you know, you get ideas and then you apply them to your context. And they do some great decorating, and it's all these little details that add up to an awesome build. I think I like this. I think this may be one of the only reasons I like the cherry biome is for the leaves. I'm sure the other ones would look a bit nicer with a texture pack, but again, my computer is maxed out running this. It is very old and not designed to do what I have it doing. Maybe, no, spruce? Let's go with spruce, just to change it up so it's not the same all the way across. Now if I don't have that whole chest of those, shulker of those, I'm going to find shears and I'm going to find a spruce tree. So that's why it's so handy to have everything organized like this. It really helps. I feel like it helps better projects, make projects better and much, much faster. And look what we have created. Yeah, those plants are just too 2 something. I'm sure they will fit in with some builds, but they do not fit in kind of a natural looking building style. Right, this is 2,000 years ago Roman architecture. I don't think there was giant blue, I'm sure there wasn't torch flowers either, but there certainly wasn't those giant blue avatar looking flowers, as nice as they are. So I think this is about where I want it. I'm going to go back and do some details, figure out if I want copper on top of the railings and what kind of fence we're going to be doing here. The brick seems to go with kind of what's happening on the porch now with the red. Lots of the time I don't like it, but I think I like it. With the white and the slightly different textures in the brick, I think that brings everything together actually. That's very nice. And that little detail with the wood fence gate onto the brick or stone fences, the way it jogs it up, looks awesome. This is looking so good. I can't wait to do the landscaping here in the interiors because this is turning out amazing. So we have 2 more to do here. You can see they won't end up quite the same because this one, both levels are exposed, but the next one you're only going to see the top level. So nice to have all my friends around while I build. Alright, everybody make sure you practice the worm, and I'm going to, you know what, let's run through and look at the building one more time, and then I will get to work on doing the rest of the 2 buildings, and we'll watch that in the time lapse. But let's take a look at what we did. This looks so good. Look at this. And texturing the floor and the mud brick walls is just going to make such a big difference. I love the porch, the wraparound porch, the gables. I really like the simplicity in the gable, even just jogging it out that one block to give it some more depth. And it really works with the aqueduct. Everything is just, it's tying in together. It's looking really, really nice, beyond what I thought it was going to. Now let's see how it looks with all 4 of the units put together. So I'm going to get to work for about the next 8 hours, and I will share that with you in about 2 minutes. Enjoy. This has turned out so well. Let's, just before we wrap things up, let's go in here and take a look and see what we've created. Alright, so we got these will be wood mills, flour mills, and they're all going to be powered by water wheels coming down off the aqueduct here. The aqueduct fills up from the stream coming down the mountain, comes across here, and then I'll have water wheels, and this would be amazing in Create, but I don't think my computer could handle that. I really like this style. This is so beautiful, and after seeing how everything evolved from the beginning of this world, it's really cool to see this as the first project on YouTube. Come on in, creatures. Alright, so I've gone through and textured all the walls in here. I'm still going to do the floor and kind of connected everything up with the stairways. So we're in the top one here. I finished all the gables right onto our porch. I really like using the lecterns as a railing. We have kind of a flour sacks or containers here. This will be grinding flour. Got our windmill and our village off in the distance here. I'll go down. I like the red. It just really looks nice, and it's kind of like you know, safety. If you're working in big mills and stuff, you have this, there's an opening below. The second building here. Did all the ceiling. I really like the way the ceiling worked out with these dark oak, kind of like beams with the dark oak trim. And I really like the different versions of the trapdoors over the frog lights. It's a lot of work to get a whole bunch of frog lights, but man, it looks so good rather than lanterns everywhere. Now we're in the third one. We have a little closet space under here, little storage. I really like the staggered railing here. I think it looks really nice. The way the beams are supported. I'm gonna start playing with how the interiors look, little tables, things like that. I like this beam and truss kind of design. We got the fence posts acting as kind of a truss coming down, holding up all these beams going across, and then just adding light. Nice feature with the trapdoors around the frog lights. Looks so much better textured. So on this side, we really haven't done anything on this side, and you can tell from the outside, but somewhere along here will be the shaft for the water wheel on the outside, and it'll come in and power equipment in here, and then we'll have all kinds of storage and machinery along here. And this is what it looked like before I got to the ceiling. Originally I built it, I put these beams a little lower here, and I went back and raised them all up one. You can see up here they're actually 5 blocks than the beam. So I've been going back and just doing little details like this because this sits right in the opening, and it feels kind of low when you have all this space. So we got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll go up one more. So I'll take all this out, and I'll do that to start the next video. Just go through the process of actually finishing the inside of one of these. And then out to our awesome view, out to the river. So the water is going to come down on a water wheel here. Each building will have a water wheel. Oh, that traitor. And come right down, and then I think it'll flow into the water here. So we'll be working on all this area. In the next video we'll be doing landscaping all this middle, putting in the water wheels and the water features, finishing the front of this building. And landscaping this front here so that it, right now I have it built right into the topography as it was. But we're going to go back and actually start to landscape this in, and we'll be continuing our road path, so it's going to wind over and definitely connect up to this main level here with the stairs into the building, and up top maybe a path, and this road will work its way down to the river. I went and added a few more features, went back and added some vines, some lightning rods with brick fence at the top just to finish it off. Put another frog light there, and on this lower section you can just see it, but in line with every beam you can only see half of them, but it lights up the roof so mobs don't spawn. I put in a frog light that matches the roof all the way along there as well. And I'd like to thank the cat, who probably needs a name. We'll just call you Cat for now. I'd like to thank the cat for keeping the mobs away at night. This turned out so well. So we'll go back, you can see this landscape needs to be done a little. Nothing down here. We'll do this live next time. The whole interior and exterior of that, and finish that up. Completely redo this area, get the road running right down. It's going to be awesome to watch this village grow. Thanks for watching.